My name is Sean Grace and welcome back to Graceland Antiques. Today we're going to have a little chat about collecting pottery and ceramics and so on, okay? And I'm going to discuss some of these items here that are on the table, okay? This is a vast field of collecting and there's all sorts of factories and all sorts of collectors out there. I can't cover everything, so I'm just going to discuss, as I say, some of these items here on the table. Now, what I say about these applies to the other ones as well. It's the advice is the same really, no matter what make of pottery I was talking about, okay? We'll start with a don't. When it comes to collecting, it's very easy to go down the road of collecting the cheap and nasty kind of stuff, you know. When you start out, you see something, you say, oh, that's lovely, like, and it's only $10, 10 euros, whatever, I'll buy that, like, you know. An example for you is this one here, okay? Now this is actually quite well modelled and everything else. It's a model of an eagle, obviously, as you can see, quite big, and you know, it has its own kind of charm in its own way. You turn it up and it says made in China, okay? Don't go that road, just don't go that road. You'll fill your house full of rubbish, what have you, you know. And then there's, now people collect all sorts, and people collect by teams usually. You'll get people who collect animals, then you get people who collect teacups, teapots, and variations of that, like plates, and you'll see people with walls covered in plates, and every single one of those people are doing exactly what suits them, and they're perfectly right, you know. But the very same rules apply to this as apply to everything else. Like, first off, don't go by the other person's judgment. Like, when you walk in somewhere and somebody tells you that something is something, you know, have a look, like, and make sure that they're not telling you, which is, I can only put it one way, they're not telling you barefaced lies, really, you know. So have your little kit with you, have your magnifying glass, and have your thing. But most importantly of all, have your phone with you, because your phone can actually focus in. You can get a better look at a mark on it, and they're on pottery and so on. They're called back stamps, right? So don't start buying stuff that doesn't have back stamps. I mean, that's just a, you know, a pointless route to go, because if you ever decide to get rid of your collection, or God forbid someone that belonged to you later on in life has to dispose of your collection, you'll have told them what years, oh, it's this, it's that, they're beautiful, they're everything else. They go out to sell it then, like, and it's 50 pence a piece, like 50 cents each, they're worth, like, the item. So go for stuff that has a back mark, okay, a back stamp on it, right? So we'll start here now, and I'm going to just show you, I'll try and just give you what to do and what not to do. Okay, so we'll start here with these little dogs here, right? There's a little group here of 3 dogs, okay? 2 of these are basic, okay? And 1 is just beauty. So we'll dispose of this one. I turned that up to you there. There's quite a nice little dog, just like the eagle, very pretty, very everything, like mass produced somewhere or other, just a little kind of a souvenir thing, just made to appeal to people who like dogs, no value. Put that one aside. Okay, now we have 2 dogs here then, okay, so you pick this one up. This is basic. I know it's basic because it's marked basic, but basic is normally marked here on the belly of the item, okay. You'll see cows, horses, all sorts, basic make all sorts, okay, vases, everything like. But this one, there's no mark on the belly of it here, and you could quite easily miss the mark, because the mark is actually here on the base of the foot, okay, on this one, which is kind of a little bit unusual. Like, I don't know why they did on that when they had plenty of room to put it there, to put the usual one there, but that's where it is, okay. Now, that's quite a nice little dog. Here's another little basic dog, okay. This time the mark is here on the belly, as you'd expect, basic England, and so on. Now, basic, I'm saying basic, some people call it Beswick. Okay, basic, you can look this up now. Basic is very well known factory. You can research this away and enjoy yourself doing that. And these can be bought relatively cheaply, some of them. Now there are, as with all of these areas of collecting, there are items that are rare, and the rare items make big money, you know what I mean? So get to know which are the good ones and which are the bad ones, and don't be wasting your money on the worst of the lot. This particular dog, when I bought him, he was a 3-legged dog. And I repaired the leg here myself. Now, I made no attempt at concealing the repair. It's quite obvious there. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's quite obvious there the repair is, okay? I done that for my own pleasure, and I like the little dog. I think I bought him for €1 at home in Ireland, okay? somewhere or other. So there's like those ones, and animal themed ones. Then like you go into slightly, you know, this is more, and these are Beatrix Potter ones, these little figurines, okay? Very highly collectible again, you know what I mean? So what you do is have your little kit with you, go by it, and if you see this one and somebody's telling you, oh, it's very rare and it's everything else, like, either get out your phone, take a photograph of the mark, go out and sit in your car or go into the corner and look it up and you'll find out, you know? Now, so go for quality, don't buy broken. Don't buy it broken. Why bother buying it broken? Like, you know, save your money and buy one that's not broken. That's fairly simple, isn't it? Another thing here, right, we have some blue and white here. Here's two little plates, right? These can be bought literally for a couple of dollars each, these little plates, okay? They're blue and white, they're transfer printed, they're everything. They're really of no interest, no great interest. Whereas this particular one, then, you pick it up and you look at it here, and here it is, fully marked on the bottom, fully marked, Copeland's forward, okay, and blah blah blah, and what have you. There you go, somebody has put their name to it, and it's quite a nice plate and sport. So collect marked items. If you're going to collect something, like, try and collect things that somebody at least like wanted to put their name to, like, and weren't ashamed to put their name to it, like, you know. So that's quite a nice little place again, like that one. I had a pair of these, but unfortunately when I had these at home in Ireland, like when I was coming here to Kendal, one of them got broken in transit, like on the way. So that one, I'll put that one aside now, right? And then I'll just talk very briefly about studio pottery, okay? Like this plate here is a studio pottery plate. Again, I brought this plate from Ireland with me. The man that made this, the potter here, is a man by the name of Michael Cardew, okay? Now, I do research. When I buy a thing, I do research. But when you'll be doing research about one item, you'll go off at a tangent, like, and you'll see other stuff, and you'll go in and you'll read and you'll look. This is what happens. That's what happens to me anyway. And so I had read about this man, and I had seen images of his work. And the day at the car book sale, I was walking past the stall, and this was sitting there, and I just kind of caught a glimpse of it in the corner of my eye. And I went over there, and I was standing there looking at it like it was a dirty winter's morning now, and early in the morning. You'd be at a car book sale in Ireland, you could be at it like at 7 o'clock, half 7 in the morning, you know. Otherwise, anything that was any good would be gone, you know. So I knew something was calling me to this, like, so I bought it. I couldn't really see the marks on the back of it and everything else. So I bought it, brought it home, done my research, and turned out that I was correct. Like, Michael Cardew played Wincombe Pottery in down the south of England, okay? That man has a fantastic backstory. Like, he worked in Africa during the war, and that, like, teaching the Africans how to throw pots and that, like, to help them with their economy and what have you, in a place called Abuja. And if you can come across some of his work from Abuja, you know, and that, like, he would have been close friends with a man by the name of Bernard Leach, another very famous potter, like, you know. So it's like there's just great fun, like, in looking up the thing after you bought it, like, and doing the research. And then luckily for me, this plate, I bought this for €1. Worth considerably more, you know. This is not about values now. I'm not discussing values really as such here, because none of this stuff is for sale. It's our own private collection and that, and it's really about the collecting and about the skills that you need when you go out to collect, you know. Here I have a piece of Wedgwood, okay, black basalt. This is referred to as, okay, like we all know the blue and white parrying ware that they have, like, it's everywhere. Blue and white stuff is everywhere. You see it, little heart-shaped trinket dishes, little this, little that, like everything. Like, now there is some very valuable blue and white stuff, but you know, you have to really know your stuff with the Wedgwood. And do your research, like, look it up, try and come across nice pieces. Better off to be buying one of this than 10 little blue and white trinket dishes, like, you know what I mean? They're everywhere, kind of, and so on, okay? But again, Wedgwood, very, very collectible stuff is what it is, you know? Here we have just a couple of little weighed figurines, okay? Lots of people, these came with tea back in the day. They were in the packets of tea. Now, lots of people collect these, and lots of people get great fun out of these. And believe it or not, some of these, as small as they are, and my goodness, they are small, as some of them can be extremely valuable. There are rare ones in it and everything else, you know, and you can have great fun, and you can start your collection there, or it's very good for children now, to get children interested in collecting things. And reusing, I may add, and a little, you know what I mean, think of the environment. These can be bought for $2, $3 and up to $5 kind of, and if you're buying them in a batch, like if you go somewhere and there's a whole parcel of them, you can be buying them for as little as $1 a piece, like, okay? And a very enjoyable little collecting feel there for somebody in that, you know. Now, as I said, people collect by teams, you get people who collect by factory, they'll collect by animal, they'll collect, and there are various and different ones, and of course there's various quality in what you're doing. As I said about the basic dogs, very nice, nicely modelled, but then you go up into the likes of this now, right? Can you see that cat there, right? Now, there's a big difference in the quality of the two of these, in my eye there is anyway. So when I turn this one up and I get my little glass, and I look nice and carefully, I see Royal Doulton on this one, right? Now, Royal Doulton is a step up, from your basics and your other, lesser potteries, okay? Beautiful one there, beautiful cat, Royal Doulton, and with this little fella here, again, Royal Doulton, all marked and everything else. I don't have to be a genius. You look up these and you can tell exactly when these were made by the marks. It's all there, all the information is there. Here's another piece of Royal Doulton. This one is a wall mask, it hangs, you know what I mean? It's a jester wall mask, okay? I bought this in a charity shop in William Street in Limerick, at home in Ireland. That's where I bought it. I think I gave €6 for that, and that was actually only in recent, not only a couple of years ago, is all that was, Then you move on to some of the factories that made really big quantities and made, variety of stuff and we have here cartonware, okay? Now, that's quite a nice place in cartonware, nicely moulded and modelled and what have you, painted and etc. And quite a nice thing, but very common. You'll see these kind of all over the place, and they, you shouldn't be paying too much. Now again, it's very difficult to be talking money exactly, because depending on where you are and depending on the shop, if you go into a fancy antique shop to buy it, you know what I mean, you're obviously you're expecting to pay a bit more for it, and if you go to a charity shop, you're obviously expecting to pay a bit less. $10–15 I'm putting on that, okay, the inner box. But then you move to the likes of this, still cartonware, okay, all marked, you can see there, at least I hope you can, and all marked, and if you can't see it, I'll be putting up some stills of some marks anyway, okay, fully marked, fully everything. This is what's referred to as Rouge Royale. I don't have to be a genius, it says Rouge Royale on the back of it, okay, and the model number and the painter's number and all sorts of details are here in the back. This is a different matter altogether compared to this one, okay? And the reason I say that is because this is beautifully painted in enamel colours and beautiful gilding and everything else, obviously on the Rouge Royale background, Now that's a different sort of plate altogether. Where we're talking 10, 15, whatever, 20 for that, here you're talking, sort of between 80 and 130, somewhere there, depending on where you're buying it. Even the charity shops, believe it or not, kind of can tell that these are a bit better. So you can expect to pay a bit more for those if you come on, okay? And especially if they're good and clean and everything else. And then we come on, so here we have some Irish porcelain, okay? And this particular one here, this what we're looking at here is Bleak, okay? Bleak in Fermanagh. In Ireland, so I just moved that out of the way there for a second, okay? Now, what we have here, it's not a match set at all. Now, these are just examples. What I'm showing you here are examples of marks and explaining and trying to just teach you a little bit about the collecting of things, not the items themselves, It's to have your research done before you go. This little teapot, when I turn it up, immediately that I turn this up, I know this is first period Bleak because it has the first period Bleak mark, okay? And Bleak was started in 1863, okay? Is when Bleak started. So this little one is just beautiful now. I have to say I'm just mad about this little teapot, and a gorgeous little thing and in mint condition and everything else. That's the first period, okay? So then we pick up this one. This is the second period, and I can tell again, now I'm not going to start boring you about the marks, because you can do your own research. If you're interested in Bleak, do your own research. But I know, looking at this immediately, I know that this is second period, okay? And when I pick this one up, I know, looking at it, that this one is third period, okay? Now, these have black marks, these three here. Then it goes on, they have green, they have brown, they have blue, they have all sorts of everything. The stuff was made in America, and so try and buy. You're better off to be buying, you're better off to have one of this, than to have 3 or 4 of the very later, the much later ones. The reason is because if you ever go to sell it, there are people out there who will want to buy this one. but they can go and buy the other ones anywhere. They're all over the place, so you'll have difficulty actually selling it. Like, I mean, we don't even look like. I mean, I turn up a piece of Belique, I look at the bottom, but the very minute I see the mark on the bottom, I know what I'm looking at, and I immediately put it down if it's not. You know what I mean? Unless it's a black mark, I'm not interested. That's me here, myself and Susan. We're particular about what we collect, you know. And there's a little bit of Meissen pottery here. A little lamp, a little cherub lamp. I'm not going to go into that again. There's another field of collecting, okay? And people here behind me, up on the thing, I have some Moores brothers. This is Moores Brothers pottery lamp, beautiful, matching little pair of vases there going with it, okay? That beautiful lamp. I'll be discussing lamps at a later stage, and I'll get more into that, okay? And now, then we come to you've gone up in value. Like, Belique can be quite expensive. You can pay quite a sum of money for Belique, but if you shop wisely and you keep your eyes open and you have patience, you can also come on bargains, okay? We're not in the habit of paying a lot of money for stuff. We prefer to enjoy the hunt, going out for the day. And it's even lovely, you know, when you're out, if you come on, like, you go into a shop and it has a nice selection of Belique or whatever one is, whatever you're interested in, and they're having that. And even if you can't afford it, it's still lovely to see it like it. Perhaps because it's an antique shop, you might even get the opportunity to pick it up and actually handle it. And that's very important. Like, get to know the feel of your thing. And while I have this in my hand now, just a tip, right? So when you're in a place and you're looking like it, and there's no, you see as is. You might see a sticker and it says as is, right? Now you must check, like, as is means there's something wrong. That's what that means. Like, my advice to you when you see as is would be to put it down, unless you're a new collector to this field, like to whatever particular item you're looking at, and that you just want a piece just to handle and just to get used to the feel of it, which is very important. But we'll say there isn't as is on it. Like, again, don't go by the other man's judgment. And the best way of checking is around the rim, run your fingers around very gently, right? And check and see, do you feel any little imperfection or anything? When you do, that's what you do. But this is where your little magnifying glass or whatever comes in. Don't be a bit afraid, like, and he may be standing right there in front of you, the owner, like, of the shop, and you might be discussing with him. Don't be a bit afraid. And if you think you see something, say it to him, like, and if necessary, you know, and so you have a look there. Then, if it is chipped or whatever, and he says to you, oh, I'll give you 10% off, like, no, no, thank you. Unless, as I say, and 10% off, will he take 10% for it? Because it's broken, and that's it. There is no, there's no half broken. Something's either broken or it's not, or damaged or it's not, you know. So then we move on now, and again, like, this is Moorcroft here. We have a selection of Moorcroft here. We have actually quite a little collection of Moorcroft ourselves, okay? And there's a pitfall in a lot of the collecting that people fall for, and I'll just explain here now, right? And it's fairly simple to explain it, Joe. You go into a shop and there's a display of Moorcroft like this, okay? And perhaps more pieces than what are here. And you're looking. Now, this item, and this here, this little pair of candlesticks, some of those can be quite expensive. Like these two in particular, like, now, these would have big price tags on them in an antique shop or an antique mall or whatever, okay? And so you're looking at these, and the next thing suddenly you see this, and this has a price tag of €45, £45 on it, okay? And you pick it up and you're thinking, oh my goodness, these are all like, even this little dish here is 65, and I can have this for 45. Why? I'll tell you why, because it's an ashtray, right? Now, do not become the relieving officer for antique shops, antique malls, and for collectors who are getting rid of, like, the likes of this. Because when you buy this, like, you're buying an ashtray. Now, they'll tell you it's a trinket dish, they'll tell you it's a ring dish, they'll tell you all sorts of things, they'll tell you it's a great bargain, they'll tell you it's in perfect condition, and that it's all marked Moorcroft, which it is, okay? It's not a trinket dish, it's not a ring dish, it's not anything else, it's an ashtray. This is a little trinket dish, okay? This little one. And this is what you buy if you want a trinket dish, okay? So this is dearer, this is more expensive than this, that's bigger than everything else. Okay, the difference is that somebody else will want this, like, people do not want smoking related items, like, so don't go down the road of buying that, okay? Now, if you go into, again, and they have a candlestick, a lone candlestick, okay? And and they'll tell you like that, oh, the candlestick is whatever the price is now. Again, I don't want to be discussing money because the prices vary so greatly around the world and in different countries and in different places and in different circumstances, okay? So you go in and they tell you that a pair of these is worth, I'm going to pick an arbitrary figure here, that a pair of these is worth 150, right? You can have this one for 75. Okay, that's not the way it works. One is not the same as half of two, like, kind of when it comes to collecting pairs. A pair is far more valuable than two single items. You know what I mean? Like, so try and buy it, if things that should be in pairs, try and buy them in pairs. You know what I mean? That's the best way to do it, all right? And don't go buying bad stuff. Like, don't buy broken stuff, don't buy damaged stuff, don't buy things. But what you must do is research whatever area of this collecting now. And I'm not talking about just these items here. There's a vast array of stuff out there to collect. Do your research. You know, look up your subject, like, know the marks of it, bring your kit, look at what you're being shown, and don't go by the other man's judgment. I can't stress that enough. Like, I mean, the importance, like, of being independent of their advice, like, because not everyone is trustworthy, you know. And then the next thing, of course, is that you must enjoy your collecting. Like, when you bring the thing home, like, I mean, put it out on display, enjoy it. Like, if it's something that can be used, like, use it, like, occasionally. You know what I mean? Take down the little Believe teapot and actually make a little bit of tea and use it, like, occasionally, you know, and enjoy your collecting and enjoy it. And now what I just ask you to do is to like, share and subscribe on this channel before you leave, and don't forget to press the little bell icon so that you'll be reminded of my upcoming videos, okay? And we have some interesting ones coming up in the future, okay? And that's not that today's wasn't interesting. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon. Good day to you.